We have covered so many great Disney Pixar movies already on the channel. However, where does Soul hold up against those great? Let's find out in just a second, but before we jump right into all that jazz, hit the like button and comment down below what your thoughts are on this particular movie, and let's get into it. So for me, Soul is a bit of a weird one. I'm just going to go out and say this. I think it's so weird because are we all in agreement here that Disney Pixar movies are for kids and families? I would say so. I think that's what I would describe Disney Pixar movies as being. However, Soul does not fit in that bracket because it is very complex, very deep, very methodical. And if you're an adult, you'd absolutely. I think so many people love this film, and that's why it's got a great score on IMDb. But for somebody who is, I don't know, 6 to 10 years old, and you're just wanting a cartoon to put on in the background while you're playing around with your toys and stuff, you would not pick Soul. And Soul isn't that type of film that appeals to kids, in my opinion. And even though it's marketed for kids, it doesn't feel like a kids movie at all when you're watching it. And that's not a diss on the film, because to me, I think this is a good film. However, the way that Disney have made this film and marketed this film is if it's for kids. But kids won't probably understand this film as much as they probably should, if that makes sense. And to me, that's why I don't think that as a Disney Pixar movie, it was a complete and utter success in that factor. Because to me, it will still not be able to knock off a Toy Story and Up, Coco even, off their top spot of some kid's favourite film. And that was never the intention by the looks of it. On the story then, for me, I think it's quite a special and unique story that we haven't really seen anything for a while in the Disney Pixar universe that has even managed to capture anything before or after this particular movie in the same fashion. I love seeing how this is able to teach the joys of life, the beauties of life, and living life to the fullest and all these things, and what it means to have a soul and the excitement that brings into you, and that's your personality and everything comes into that. And I love seeing that through the eyes of Joe, who is a music teacher who feels like he probably should have done better in life. And then he gets the opportunity of a lifetime after teaching a load of students which are not passionate and things like that. He then gets the opportunity to go to this, be a part of this jazz band, which he wants to have because that's like his dream, to have like the chance to be in like a jazz band of some sorts after seeing jazz as a young kid. And I think that then was really cool, seeing him live that dream. You as the audience are thinking, what's going to happen next? And that's where he ends up bumping his head, and then his soul floats off in space, and that's where the film gets a little bit weird. It starts off not that weird, to be fair. It looks like a normal animation film, but then that happens and you think, oh shit, what's happening here? But yeah, then they get introduced into the sort of Soul universe, if you want to call it. That's where the film gets really weird, and that's where he bumps into 22, and he now becomes some sort of a mentor for 22 to be able to help get himself back to Earth himself, because if she, who is 22, gets the pass, she then can pass it on to a different soul and to have that thing, and that's what she does for Joe. However, everything goes wrong, and then we're seeing the two find out what the meaning of life is between them, learning from each other, which we'll get onto in just a second. But from that thing, that sets them on a journey of really finding out what it means to have a soul, the meaning of life and everything like that, because 22 did not have any ambition to live any life and didn't have any ambition to basically live. She was more than happy to stay up in this sort of, like, let's just call it the Soul universe, and she was more than happy to stay in there. However, he was able to learn off of her, and she was able to learn off of him how to live life the fullest. For me though, I think the best part of the entire film is the two of Joe and 22 being able to learn off of each other, like we mentioned a few minutes ago. I think that's the best part of the film, because we're seeing 22 like eating pizza for the first time. She's absolutely loving it in Joe's body and doing all these crazy things. It's like Joe is, the best way to describe him is very basic, a little bit boring, just loves jazz. His only passion Whereas you can see 22's excitement of, oh, what's this? Like, what shall we do here? And everything like that. You can see that that person and that soul is having a good time, and the personality really helps to live life to the fullest, because it's like, this is new to me, and it is really cool to see that, and that Joe's learning how somebody who's new to life is really taking life in its fullest. You can see that angers Joe a little bit, because he feels jealous that he can't be in his own body again and everything like that. But I think the two manage to learn off each other and complement each other in the best sort of ways, because that's where they end up learning each other to basically help Joe get back into his own body by the end of the film, and also 22 to be able to have an Earth pass so that she can go and live her life as well, in which for me was both fantastic ways, and to me was a great ending for the film. And it looked like at the end of the film that Joe, after doing everything and living his life to the fullest, it looked like that he'd sacrificed his chance to go back to Earth and live his life, because he gives it to 22, and 22 is able to excel in life and everything like that. So then you're thinking, oh, what's going to happen to Joe? And is he just going to float away and no, go on that weird escalator in which looks like it destroys us all? Fuck knows. Who knows? I'm guessing that means he would die or something. I don't know. But then he gets the chance to go back into his body, after they say, look, we appreciate what you did for 22. Nobody's been able to mentor her, and doing that kind of gesture was great. So you're allowed to go back into your body. And yeah, it is just a wild film. So to summarize Soul then, for me, like I mentioned beforehand, I don't think this is a great film. I think this is probably a 6.9 out of an average film, because you've got to look at who it's marketed towards, and that is kids. And for me, there's probably people that aren't kids that don't get this, and it's not an enjoyable film to them. To me, I can see in the middle of it, I can see the positives of watching this type of film, but I can also see the bad things of it's not the most entertaining film, and it's quite a deep sort of film. So yeah, in my opinion, I'm in the middle with this, so I would put it as a 6.9 out of 10 and an average film. So let me know your thoughts of this film. Is it great? Is it bad? Is it terrible? Is it amazing? Let us know all that jazz down those comments down below. And also, if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and I shall see you fine folks in the next one. Laters.